The Midday News on Sun FM is brought to you with the compliments of the Public Service Pensions Fund. Take advantage of PSPF's digital platforms like ePSPF, available on www.pspf.org.zm. Download the mobile app on Google Play Store and App Store, or use the USSD code *3434# for easy access to all pension services. Public Service Pensions Fund, keeping the pension promise.
The news.
Good afternoon and welcome to Sun FM Midday News. We take a look at the stories making headlines. President Hakainde Hichilema is set to participate in the 60th summit of the African Union Committee of 10 heads of state and government, a high-level virtual gathering aimed at advancing Africa's long-standing demand for reform of the United Nations Security Council. Vice President Mtalena Lumango has firmly rejected claims that the Zambian government was involved in a supposed plan to bribe a South African judge in connection with the Barrio case of late former President Edgar Lungu. His Majesty Kalongagawa Undi, King of the Chewa people, has been announced as guest of honor for the 2025 Okusefya Bangwena traditional ceremony, which will take place from August 7th to 9th in Mungwi District, Northern Province. Zambia's strength sports icon Paul Mwanza received a hero's welcome at State House following his landmark victory at the 2025 World's Strongest Master Championship in the 105 kg category held in the United States.
The news. 88.5 Sun FM.
With the details, my name is Mwema Shanshima. President Hakainde Hichilema is set to participate in the 60th summit of the African Union Committee of 10 heads of state and government, a high-level virtual gathering aimed at advancing Africa's long-standing demand for reform of the United Nations Security Council. The summit will be chaired by President Julius Maada Bio of Sierra Leone, who serves as the current coordinator of the C10. Discussions will center on the Common African Position, which calls for 2 permanent seats for Africa on the UNSC, complete with veto power, as outlined in the Izulwini Consensus and the Siriti Declaration. The meeting will also consider outcomes from the 13th ministerial meeting of the AUC10, hosted by Zambia in Lusaka from June 3rd to 5th, 2025. The gathering reaffirms Africa's unified stance and strategic roadmap for equitable representation on the Security Council. President Hichilema has reiterated Zambia's unwavering commitment to working with fellow AU member states to push for a fairer, more democratic global governance system where Africa's voice is not only heard but meaningfully represented. The summit will further review progress made since the adoption of the Pact for the Future at the 2024 UN General Assembly, which injected fresh momentum into Africa's reform agenda. Key documents including the Lusaka Ministerial Outcome Document and the AU Model on UNSC Reform will guide deliberations ahead of the UNGA High-Level Week in September 2025. This was contained in a press statement made available to the media by Eva Chanda, Principal Public Relations Officer at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Vice President Mtalena Lumango has firmly rejected claims that the Zambian government was involved in a supposed plan to bribe a South African judge in connection with the burial case of late former President Edgar Lungu. The allegations stem from a leaked audio circulating on social media, allegedly featuring Mafinga MP Robert Chabinga proposing a scheme to influence the South African judiciary. The recording has sparked widespread public debate and criticism. During Vice President's question time in Parliament, Mpika MP Francis Kapyanga pressed the Vice President for clarity on the matter. In response, Mrs. Nalumango stated that the audio does not contain any explicit indication that the government endorsed or intended to carry out such a plan. She emphasized that the remarks in the recording reflect individual speculation, not official policy. She echoed that these are proposals similar to many ideas that have emerged among citizens regarding the funeral and burial of the late president, and it is unfortunate that the government is being criticized based on speculative content. She also condemned the leaking of sensitive government communications, calling it immoral and lawful, and warned that such actions undermine national integrity and democratic processes. This statement comes amid highlighted tensions surrounding the burial of President Lungu, whose funeral was halted mid-ceremony by a South African court pending further legal proceedings. The government has maintained that it seeks a dignified and lawful resolution to the matter.
So those were proposals and suggestions. It didn't say there is a government, position that we should go, and just please go and listen again. There was nowhere in that audio, which I've also listened to, unless I missed it, that government has decided to go and bribe a judge in South Africa. It is not there. So don't add into. Face the reality, face something which is there. But to say there is government in there saying, let us go, madam, and bribe. It was a talk between two people, dreaming, fantasizing, like all of you have done.
His Majesty Kalonga Gawa Undi, King of the Chewa people, has been announced as guest of honor for the 2025 Okusefya Pangwena traditional ceremony, which will take place from August 7th to 9th in Mungwi District, Northern Province. The announcement was made by Bemba Royal Establishment Secretary Richard Mukuka, who emphasized that the invitation reflects Paramount Chief Chitimukulu Kanyantamanga II commitment to fostering national unity and cultural harmony. Kalonga Gawa Undi joins a distinguished group of traditional leaders who will have previously held the honor, including Inkosi Yamakosi Mpezeni and Kaongola Kanyemba the Litunga. Okusefya Pangwena commemorates the Bemba people's historic arrival at Ngwena village, their first settlement in Lubemba over 4 centuries ago. The ceremony celebrates the richness of Bemba oral tradition, cultural sophistication, and ancestral legacy. It will begin on August 7th with a corporate business expo and cultural expo hosted by the 18 Bemba kingdoms of Muchinga and northern provinces, showcasing traditional artifacts, crafts, and heritage expansions. On August 8th, activities will shift to the Milando River Heritage Site, where Bemba ancestors discovered a dead crocodile, interpreted as a divine sign that the land was chosen for them. The crocodile, known as Ingwena or Ingandu, remains the sacred totem of the Chiti Mukulu clan. The main ceremony on August 9th is expected to attract hundreds of thousands of attendees at Ngwena Valley National Momentum. Traditional performances will include Womba music, now popular in church choirs in Funkutu, known from Ichilangamlilo and Amatebeto, and Amalila war chants, which have influenced both secular and religious music. High-level dignitaries from political, corporate, and religious sectors are expected to attend. Mr. Makuka called on sponsors, partners, and citizens to actively participate in this celebration of unity, heritage, and national pride. Ukusefya Pangwena remains one of Zambia's most significant cultural events, reaffirming the Bemba people's contribution to the national identity and promoting inter-ethnic solidarity across the country. We take a break, and when we return, we have more in sports news.
Keeping the pension from public service pension, feeling appointed to secure the future of our members, even after retirement and lead a normal life. Keeping the pension from
Public Service Pensions Fund, reaching you in all 10 provinces of Zambia. PSPF, keeping the pension promise.
Thank you for staying with us. And in sports news, Zambia's strength sports icon Paul Mwanza received a hero's welcome at State House following his landmark victory at the 2025 World's Strongest Master Championship in the 105 kg category held in the United States. Mwanza, now officially the world's strongest man, has become a continental legend, having previously claimed the Africa's Strongest Man title 4 times and the coveted Arnold Classic Africa Championship. His dominance in deadlifts, presses, and endurance events has made him a household name in strength athletics. President Hakainde Hichilema praised Mwanza's achievements, calling him a symbol of resilience, discipline, and national pride. The president emphasized that Mwanza's journey is a beacon for Zambia's youth and aspiring athletics, proving that hard work and consistency lead to greatness. Reaffirming the government's commitment to sports development, President Hichilema pledged continued support for all sporting codes to ensure that talent across the board is nurtured and celebrated. With Mwanza mentoring young athletics and promoting strength sports locally, Zambia's presence on the global stage is stronger than ever. On that note, that's where we end our midday news. But before we go, we take a look at the stories making headlines once again. President Hakainde Hichilema is set to participate in the 60th summit of the African Union Committee of 10 Heads of State and Government, a high-level virtual gathering aimed at advancing Africa's long-standing demand for reform of the United Nations Security Council. Vice President Mtalena Lumango has firmly rejected claims that the Zambian government was involved in a supposed plan to bribe a South African judge in connection with the burial case of late former President Edgar Lungu. His Majesty Kalonga Gawa Undi, King of the Chewa people, has been announced as guest of honor for the 2025 Ukusefya Pangwena traditional ceremony, which will take place from August 7th to 9th in Mungwi District, Northern Province. Zambia's strength sports icon Paul Mwanza received a hero's welcome at State House following his landmark victory at the 2025 World's Strongest Master Championship in the 105 kg category held in the United States. On behalf of the entire news crew and production team, my name is Mwema Shanshima. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.
88.5 Sun FM.
The Midday News on Sun FM was brought to you by the Public Service Pensions Fund, PSPF. Remember to send hi to our WhatsApp line 0770-627-391 to register your account and access all pension services anytime, anywhere. PSPF, keeping the pension promise.
This is Sun FM. It's 1 p.m.